Welcome back to Real Phonies, where we take a love for movies and television and combine it with very little knowledge about movies and television. I'm your host, Christian. Join with me are my co-host, Ian.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Joseph.
Yellow.
Jehu.
Much better. Thank you.
Much more tamed.
Did you go untamed for the...
The last one, I just went full volume right into... You know what it was? You know what it was? My voice has been I've been coughing lately, and my voice has been kind of giving out. So I didn't really think I was going to make it on that last one. And I went for it, and more than I thought came out.
The thing that cracks me up is you've been a musician for many, many years, but have absolutely no idea how a microphone works.
I don't, and I have no idea how to take care of my voice. I blow out my voice every other fucking day.
So we're going to talk about the Joker.
Correct.
Yeah. Todd Phillips directed, Joaquin Phoenix starred, DC film, I guess. I heard rumor they were going to do like DC Black or something, which is like these one-off stories.
Grown.
Yeah, and this would be the first one. Yeah, I mean, this movie is about a guy named Arthur Fleck and his slow descent into madness and how a few bad days creates the iconic Batman villain while also serving as, spoilers, a Batman origin story. What do we think of the
We're
movie,
going no
guys?
spoilers?
Oh yeah, no spoilers for at least a little bit.
One thing I just wanted to say before we got started, when talking about things these days, there's always the, thing comes up, well, that just wasn't for you. You know, like people who didn't like, say, Captain Marvel, like dudes who didn't like it. It was like, well, maybe that's just not for you. And sometimes I agree with that thinking and sometimes I don't. It depends on one day you ask me. But the great thing about whatever we're going to say about this one was totally for us.
Agreed.
This was for white dudes.
And white dudes showed up and showed out for it.
That
this
is true.
movie made a ton of money.
Made a ton of money.
Even though the showing we were in wasn't really...
It wasn't, no.
It
Yeah,
was-
it was mid-Saturday. It seems like it would have had time, but...
Yeah, the showing I was in was dead.
Yeah, no, it
Interesting.
wasn't... It didn't... Because the thing is, it was booked on so many screens. It had the biggest wide open.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So it was
fair.
playing like 4 theaters, so split that up a lot more.
Yeah, because you had it like every half hour, right?
Every half an hour.
That sounds like an awful way to spend your life.
Before we get into it, I one of the interesting things about this movie is it's directed by Todd Phillips, who has never really done any kind of dramatic movie.
He's made crappy comedies.
He's made, he made The Hangover, which
The first one is good.
I stand by. The first Hangover is good.
Yep.
There are 2 other Hangovers, and then
They
made...
taint the first one, though. That's the problem.
He made that Zach Galifianakis, Robert Downey Jr. movie, Due Date.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, and he
Hangover with childbirth is what they call it.
and he made War Dogs with 2 of the greatest living assholes in Hollywood. Say in this one, he may have worked with possibly number 1. Who knows?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just such an interesting choice for this movie. And then Joaquin Phoenix, who has historically been. What's the word for Joaquin Phoenix?
Bizarre?
Yeah, bizarre.
There's a wrestling insider term where, say, like if you play like an unstoppable badass and then you try to act like that in real life, it's called living your gimmick. And Joaquin Phoenix really tries to live his
He
gimmick.
does.
I love how much I learned from wrestling from just having a movie podcast.
Like I said, I hate insider terms for movies and I hate insider terms for wrestling, but I love applying insider terms for wrestling to movies.
It's
I don't
great.
know why.
I dig it.
With Todd Phillips, I think like my thought was like he's done so much comedy. It's like he overcompensated in this movie, which has got no humor, no lighthearted. It's like he almost wanted to get away from his comedy roots.
I think that was intentional.
Yeah, so much that he went over serious, like super serious.
I should say... Oh, go ahead.
Well, definitely his thing that he's retired from comedy because of woke culture. I'm pretty sure he retired from comedy right after the first Hangover.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, is the one where he realized it.
Yeah.
Other people in this movie, Robert De Niro.
Yep.
Mark Maron. Zazie Beetz.
Mm-hmm.
The old lady who always plays weird dudes' moms.
Yeah, she 100%.
That's her shtick.
Yeah.
That guy who I think was in The Dark Knight is now also in this movie playing Thomas Wayne.
Yep.
Yeah, he was in
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't remember anybody else in this movie, but...
I mean, that's about it. It's a pretty
Well,
small
the
cast.
serial killer from True Detective is one of the clowns, isn't he? The guy in the lawnmower from True Detective season 1.
Was that guy?
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty
That's a good pull. If
Yeah.
that's true. Shit, I'm going to look that up.
I'm pretty sure.
I shouldn't question you because you were right last time.
So do we want to... Anyone want to start off with their hot takes, non-spoiler free?
Man, I went into this movie thinking it's going to go for the fences and I'm either going to love it or hate it. and mostly I was just kind of indifferent to it. I think it really wanted to be something, and it falls short of that. You know, it really wanted to be like, you know, not just a movie, it wanted to be art, and I think it's... There's a comic book artist named Dave Mazzucchelli who said something recently that I'm paraphrasing here, which is the more realistic you try to portray a fantasy property, the more ridiculous it starts to look. And man, that works as my review for this movie. Like if that's all I had to say on this movie. Anytime an actual Batman element comes up in this, it's like if maybe Travis Bickle would have stepped on a whoopee cushion during his rampage. It just seems fucking ridiculous.
It feels forced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was like, I went with Susie, and we both thought it very well done, but super depressing. And like, it's like catnip for those kids that live in their mom's basements and play video games to like go shoot somebody. I think that was like my takeaway. Like, I thought I did not agree with that movie. The message, I thought it was like almost to the point of encouragement at some aspects.
I'll get into that more in spoilers, but definitely I think its message is, I think he thinks it's ambiguous and it's just confusing.
No, I thought it was just, there's, like I said, devoid of humor. Like, I like the Marvel formula, like, in retrospect to this. You know what I mean? What did you think?
I was really... I feel like I'm frustrated that we're doing this podcast in general, because I realize that I don't think... I'm with her. I don't feel like there is that much to this movie. Right. But I feel like the nothingness of this movie is so representative of a lot of other trends. Right. There's a lot to deconstruct. Right. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, I agree with the things that both of you guys said. I feel like it's saying and doing all the right things to be a prestige movie. You know, like it's got the fancy camera angles in the score. It's got great set design, great costume design. The performances are really good, but it's just hollow. You know, there's just absolutely no substance to it. And it's not even bad enough to be like angry at it. I feel like it's just, you know, it's just not quite anything. Right.
It seems like something that set out to provoke, and maybe it did for other people, but it didn't really provoke me. I pee a lot, always have. I want to make sure it's known that I always have, so nobody can say it's because I'm old. It because I have a giant fucking prostate or something.
I want you to know that I'm going to cut this episode, so it's just us starting the episode and then you talking about how you pee a lot and then ending the episode.
So I got up to pee during the trailers, and as I was going down on the front row were two like kids. It's like, you know, 10-year-old and 8-year-old. And I was like, oh man, those kids probably shouldn't be in this fucking movie. So go out, pee, come back, watch the movie till about 3/4 through. And I'm thinking, man, this movie's probably really going to disturb these kids. Go down to pee again, past those guys. They are so visibly fucking bored. Yep. You know, it was like they're watching math. Like they're just trying to crawl out of their fucking skin.
It's definitely a slow movie. So like
it's a shit ton of Joaquin Phoenix dancing.
Yeah, and it's definitely like, if you go in and they're looking for like a Deadpool kind of action with like fast hits and a lot of like blood, and I mean it is some of that, but it's very slow and methodical. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I did like the aesthetic. It had a very mean Taxi Driver.
Yeah, no, I mean it looked great.
It did look like Scorsese like put his eyes on it. You know what I mean? On especially like the intro, like how it said Joker with the yellow title in the beginning. It felt like a studio film, kind of. You know what I mean? In certain ways, and how they ended it.
I'll admit the title was. I was like, you're trying a little bit too hard.
I know. That's what I mean. It was like, it was so on the nose. It is It's very crisp, and it's well done as a piece of art. I just don't think it's easy to digest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like this movie wants to be something that I just don't think that it is.
Right.
What this movie was to me, and I told Joseph when I walked out, this movie is a tribute to Punching Down, which is that, like, I just watched this George Carlin interview. He was on CNN. He was talking to Larry King, and they were talking about Andrew Dice Clay.
I saw this too. It's fucking great.
And one of the things he talks about is like, he's like, I will always defend a person's right to say something. Like, I don't think we should ever tell a person they can't say anything. But the role of comedy is to be a filter between the masses and the elite, and that it allows you to punch up. You should never be the person who punches down. And so I feel like Todd Phillips is like, oh, I'm making the same statement by having this kind of Occupy Wall Street, like, movement against the elites, while also having a movie that says, if you're poor, you could become a serial killer. If you're mentally ill, you can become a serial killer. If you're a midget and you watch somebody get murdered, it's really funny when you can't escape. Like, there are a lot of things to me that are like, you think you're trying to break this barrier, but in reality, you're just making fun of people who shouldn't be made fun of.
Right. Definitely the thing with the little guy who couldn't through the door was the only part that was like, oh yeah, this guy directed The Hangover.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
And it was a big hit in our theater. People laughed their ass off when they saw that part. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Who are you with right now?
I'm going to steal a take that I actually read today from. I think it was from Variety. I hope it was from Variety. That was just. I
Don't
felt
miscredit your quote.
I don't give a fuck. Nobody listens to this. That was just It was just so accurate that I could not steal it. Which is that this movie is what most people misinterpret Fight Club to be.
I was going to say the 3 really good movies that this just stands on the shoulders of but adds nothing to are Taxi Driver, Mr. Saturday Night, and Fight Club.
Yeah.
And I won't get into it till spoilers, but the worst sequence in the fucking movie was stolen directly from Fight Club.
I mean, look, I'm going to say the movie's better than Transformers because I think, like the things we talked about, there's a good aesthetic. There is great acting. Joaquin does go for it. I think Zazie Beetz is really good in it. But I will watch Transformers 1,000 fucking times before I will watch this movie again.
I'm going to go with... I think Joaquin does a really good job of acting, but I'm never not aware he's acting. You know, like, going right to comparison, stacking it up against Heath Ledger's Joker. When I'm watching that movie, particularly for the first time, I got caught up in that world, and that was not Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
That was the character he was playing.
Right.
There was no point in this where I wasn't like, oh, that's Joaquin Phoenix doing his Joaquin
Do you think
Phoenix
that maybe because Heath Ledger spends so much time in the makeup versus Joaquin?
I mean, that probably has a lot to do with it, but I also think it was... I think he created more of a character.
Joaquin's taken from Heath Ledger, I think. Definitely a little bit. I mean, I can see the influences there. He kind of wants chaos, starting
the anarchy twist.
Yeah,
and
the way he even the makeup to a degree, I think, is a little bit after Heath Ledger.
But I mean, Heath Ledger also does things like he has characteristics and mannerisms. The clicking, the hair, the way he moves, the voice. I don't think there's anything like that with him. It's just
that laugh
and the dancing.
Yeah.
A lot of dancing.
Yeah.
I thought the dancing played better than I thought it was going to. In the trailers, there was so much of it, I didn't really get it. But I did kind of buy into it in the context of the film of this guy who, lives at home with his mother and watches these old movies and is, influenced by this type of thing. I could see how that could be a trait that develops as part of his psychosis.
This movie really, is going for this idea of we're going to hold a mirror up to society about how they treat their people on the fringe. And I'm not someone who usually believes that a movie can be at fault for violence. The Matrix didn't cause Columbine or whichever massacre it decided to. But I think taking a sort of iconic and glamorous pre-existing character like the Joker and putting it in this format, when you hold that mirror up to society, those fringe people are looking in the mirror and they might look at it and say, I look fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was what I definitely thought. Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't see. I agree with that concept. I took it in a slightly different place, which is that you see a person who is in counseling and who's on medication and stuff like that. The same thing. You hold up a mirror to them and you say, "Hey, look what you could do if you had a bad day and you're off your meds." And I just feel like that's the wrong message to send to those people.
It's having Arthur Fleck be mentally ill really convolutes the message of this movie.
Agreed.
Well, I also
because the whole point of because I know the story is very much influenced by The Killing Joke,
right?
And the whole point of that book is, at least from the Joker's perspective, his concept is that one bad day could turn anyone crazy.
Agreed.
And to have him already have some delusions and mental problems before this just really fucks with that idea, even though you also add he's also had the worst. I don't know. It's a weird message.
Well, also, I mean, and I'm not a super huge Killing Joke fan, but Killing Joke, there's parts where the Joker is sympathetic and not sympathetic. I think this guy's always sympathetic, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I read somebody's take. It's well, if you see this and you think he's sympathetic, you're probably an incel. I don't know if I agree with that, but I definitely think an incel watching it is going to think, oh, that guy's really sympathetic. Because he doesn't really kill anybody from his perspective that doesn't deserve it.
No,
there's a couple that we'll get to in spoilers that he might or might not have killed that might go outside of that parameters, but everybody from his perspective he kills deserves it.
And they go out of their way to make him a sympathetic character in the sense that, he's taking care of his old mom and he's just trying his best and he's got this laughing disorder that really fucks with his social abilities and all these kind of things. Like, I don't think that's out of nowhere. I think even in result of his behaviors towards the end of the film, I feel like they've set him up so much to be a good guy who's been under bad circumstances kind of thing.
I definitely think we should move to spoilers, but I just, I'm curious to hear what everyone thinks.
So I'm saying worse than Transformers.
You going worse?
I do agree with what you said. It's well done, but the thing you said, I'd watch Transformers 1,000 more times before I watch this. So
it's just how you rate the scale.
Yeah, so I'm going to put that below Transformers.
I have been really torn about this all week.
I'm very biased.
Or all whenever since, I don't know, last couple days. Because it's one of those things where I didn't have a good time. I did not like it. And I don't think that the message of this movie, I don't think this movie was for me. I know you say it was for me, but I don't think it was for specifically me.
Right.
Just my demographic.
Right.
And so, on that front, it's worse than Transformers. On the other hand, it's a well-constructed something. Does it have a great message? No, but I mean, it's pretty. It does and says all the right things. This is, to me, this year's Bohemian Rhapsody. But I think more accurately, it's probably more like an imitation game. But it's just kind of one of those things where, again, it's checking boxes. It's got absolutely nothing to say. And nothing to contribute, but it just wants its Oscar.
Definitely nothing new to say or nothing interesting to say about the old shit itself.
Exactly. And so, I was like, is it still meritorious, by itself, even if I didn't like it? But I kind of also agree that if I didn't like it, and I'd rather watch Transformers is higher. And honestly, I say Imitation Game is worse than Transformers, so this is also worse than Transformers.
I think one difference between it and Bohemian Rhapsody is we had a blast fighting about Bohemian.
That's
Bohemian
true.
Rhapsody.
Yeah.
This actually, I thought this was going into this, man, we're gonna have so much fun talking about this.
No,
movie
it's such a downer movie.
It's a downer movie, but it's not even a downer movie that I don't think there's enough meat to chew on.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
It didn't make me angry.
Right.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's skin deep.
Yeah.
In its ugliness. It's not. Yeah.
Joseph brought this up while we were watching it, and I couldn't agree more. Which is, I've never been to a movie where I knew exactly how I was going to feel and what the movie was going to be as much as it was during this.
Mm-hmm. Spoilers from here on out.
I'll say I'll go ahead and give it slightly better than Transformers, just because Sarah liked it more than I did. And after it was over, she was like, I don't know what you dislike so much about that. It's most of the shit he was bitching about is shit you bitch about all the time. So maybe I was too close to it. I don't know.
And that's one of my issues is even when I agree, I feel like that's not really the point though. You know what I mean? I feel like Todd Phillips intentionally put some of that shit that makes us all angry to cover up his real points.
Right.
And that's why I say it's like punching down, and he presented it in a package that people will agree with when it kind of looks like an ode to Occupy Wall Street when really it's a fucking love letter to the alt-right.
Right. It's a stand-up comedy special called Triggered.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's it's him saying, okay, you guys with your crazy lefty loony stuff are making this guy. He's your fault.
It's fucking Joe Rogan saying I'm a liberal, but then going on and fucking trashing.
Even so far as I didn't even know if I was going to get into this part, but what the fuck? You were already in spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Spoilers. Okay. It's the fault of the state because they didn't take care of his mental illness. But the gun, there's no way the state could have done anything about that because it's just one guy handing the other. It's never the gun's fault for the mass murder. It's, so it definitely, there seemed like a right-wing bent there to me. And I don't know if he did that on purpose, But if he didn't do it on purpose, it was bad filmmaking for him not to iron that out.
And you see, that's where you talk about representing comic things accurately on screen makes them more ridiculous. That's where I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I know that is Todd, like that's what Todd Phillips is going for, but at the same time, like, if this story, like this exact story and this exact absurd amount of happenstance and absurd amount of like just the absolute worst aspects of humanity with no follow-up or explanation or anything, you know, I don't feel like it plays like a statement when you're trying to do it hyper realistic, but if you put it on a comic page, it seems like that seems like a Joker origin story. Right. Like all the things that happen, I can see happening in comic panels, from like the state counselor, you know, not giving a shit and just sending him off without you know any like all the individual things that seem like almost ridiculously like cruel and seem semi-unrealistic for the real world, but also seem like they would totally be comic book panels for a Joker origin.
Well, here's also a part of that I wanted to get into that I think is the main crux of the bad filmmaking. There's a lot of things in it that people are saying, well, did that happen or was it a delusion?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys.
I wanted to start with that because there are a couple of things that I feel like are super bullshitty that Todd Phillips is hiding behind in creating this movie. One is the mental illness that convolutes, I feel like, his message and whatever you're trying to say with this fucking movie. Two is intentionally several months in advance talking about how much an homage it is to Scorsese. Because, I mean, for sure it is. Like, there's no, like, even if he didn't say it, there's
from
no
the title scene you could tell.
There's no way you could have hidden it, even if he didn't talk about it. But like, labeling it as an homage, like, puts you in this weird fucking area where it's hard to criticize your stealing of other material from those things, because it's like, oh no, I was paying my respects to this, and I wasn't just copying this and making a worse version of it, you know?
Right.
And then the third thing, is exactly what you're talking about. The unreliable narrator thing is absolute horseshit, because then you can just say, like, oh, whatever happened, whatever messages this is putting out, that's not real. That didn't happen. That's just you. That's your interpretation, man.
Yeah.
Well,
I
like
hate that shit.
There's some people who are saying that the gun, that he really didn't hand it off, that the big fat guy was telling the truth, that, you know, he had tried to buy it from him.
Yeah.
Or, you know, things like,
there's a lot.
Did he kill Zazie Beetz and her kid in the apartment or not? You know? You don't know or not. But I think the bad filmmaking point that makes a crap on all that is the Fight Club flashback.
Yeah.
When you find out, oh, well, even though it's been presented that him and Zazie Beetz had this burgeoning relationship, oh, they really didn't. And they do the Tyler Durden alone flashbacks.
Yeah.
Well, if we show that part was 100%. A delusion, then why would we think anything but that part is a delusion?
The amazing thing to me is that someone, either Todd Phillips or someone on his team, felt like they needed to fucking explain that.
Right.
Like, if this was 1999, was that when Fight Club came out or whatever, and we hadn't seen Fight Club and everything else that had come since Fight Club, like, okay, that might have been surprising. But to me, at this point in my movie TV watching career, if I see any character that doesn't interact with any other character besides the main character, that person's not fucking real.
Right.
Yeah.
And like when Fight Club did it, it was innovating, groundbreaking. This was just taking shit from a better movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
homage.
There's a lot of things people don't know. I mean, what was your interpretation of what was real is not? Like, do you think he was really Thomas Wayne's son, or do you think the mom was delusional?
I think.
What was your take? I think he was Thomas Wayne's
I think he's
son.
Thomas
and Thomas
Wayne's,
Wayne's,
which I think is hacky as fuck. And when remember that rumor came out like 6 months ago or something, we talked about, surely that's too hacky to be real, and it was a major plot point in this movie.
I don't think it was real. I feel like the picture was the delusion.
Okay.
Because I feel like what other characters do is not fantasy. It's his fantasy. So like you're talking about, Zazie Beetz doesn't interact with anybody else in the movie. That's something that essentially he possesses. That is only associated with that character. And so things like the Love You Thomas or whatever.
Yeah. TW.
I feel like that's his interpretation of
possible for sure.
You know what I mean? Like no one else sees that.
Right. So what did you guys think of Thomas Wayne's an asshole?
He was a small part. It was.
What made me fucking mad?
What?
I did not need to see Thomas and Martha Wayne get shot one more fucking time.
I didn't.
This time, the Joker's the cause of it.
Whatever, that's fine. You could have even inferred it. That it was going on.
The pearls even broke again.
Just showing them walk out of the theater.
Like literally just cut the scene earlier from them walking out of the theater, turn the corner.
Yeah,
and
we
the
knew.
suspicious guy turns. That's it.
We knew.
fucking know what happens.
Honestly, you don't. We've seen it so many fucking times. The moment you see a theater that says
Zorro,
on
you're
it,
right.
you know what's about to happen.
I tell you something else. We still haven't got that shit about the fucking pearls worked out.
Yeah.
You guys have heard that, right?
No.
Okay, well, Frank Miller is, I think, the first guy who did the pearls thing, where the pearls get ripped and fly all over the place doing the thing. And that's fine in, like, 1986 when he did that. But it's pretty widely known now that when you break pearls, they don't fall off in sequence like that. They just break in a spot and come off your neck. But they're still doing that every time they film this scene over and fucking over.
They'll never change that.
It's a visual requirement.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. I also hated that we had Alfred but refused to refer to him
Yeah,
as Alfred.
And that he was an asshole. I didn't
Yeah.
mind that Thomas Wayne was an asshole, but I was pretty upset that Alfred was an asshole.
And I was really disappointed. Well, I'm not disappointed in Robert De Niro because, dude needs a paycheck. That's fine.
And he wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad.
I like that it was a different role for Robert.
Yeah,
but
I was okay with that.
It's one of those things where this is the other thing I told Christian when we came out of it is I've never been so not surprised by a movie in my life.
Yeah.
Like when I see the trailer and the trailer has in the clips of the trailer it's got the Robert De Niro's character showing Arthur failing at comedy and then having him on the show and I'm just like, okay, he's gonna kill him at the end.
Right.
And I was like, sure, that couldn't be it because it was just like too much of a straight line. Like that's just not an interesting story. And it's not an interesting story.
It's very apparent that that's like, I thought anyway, that was going to be the beginning of the descent. Not that we were already starting with a person who was already mentally ill.
Yeah.
And I feel like that, kind of belittles it a little bit. But it goes back to what you were talking about, the Killing Joke. Like, I agree with you here. I'm not a big Killing Joke fan. But it is so apparent that they want to try to make an ode to this when really you just made essentially a worse version. It would have been better to just have a normal dude who's struggling to pay his bills and take care of his pregnant wife and suck at comedy.
Pursue his self-indulgent bullshit comedy dream.
Yeah. And you could have still incorporated almost everything else about this movie and just made those simple tweaks.
And honestly, just, look, Alan Moore dialogue is a fucking mouthful, but it's better than whatever this shit was.
Yeah.
Everything else looked good. It's one of the movies. I think it'd be better on mute. Dialogue's not great.
The soundtrack's good.
Soundtrack is good.
That's a good point. That was one of the things I walked out saying is, wow, they scored it well.
Yeah,
the score was
Would
great.
you guys like this movie better if it wasn't a movie about the Joker?
I mean, I didn't really feel like it was. So,
But you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, I think definitely part of my problem going into it, part of what is, I don't think doing something like this with a character that was created for a children's adventure strip is the way to go.
No,
I think they could have made a better point with an original character.
I mean, you're absolutely right.
I would have liked it more.
It's a cash grab. That's all it is. This is Todd Phillips, King of Comedy, Scorsese mashup, but with the Joker as a cash grab. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your point. I don't think it needs to be the Joker. I find that to be fairly inappropriate. The content of the movie or the points that we've gotten out of it
would still be bad.
Yeah.
Do you guys think, I know they're saying right now, this never was intended to be part of the larger DC universe. I think it was.
Oh, I bet Matt Reeves has been on the phone.
Well, I think, remember how in in Batman vs. Superman, there was all the rumors that Joker was Jason Todd and this hadn't been the Joker.
The much better rumor than what actually happened.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that this, before Scorsese and Todd Phillips got involved, I bet this was supposed to be the Batman origin for the Ben Affleck Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, that's not uncommon for a thing to start as one thing and turn into another thing, A whole lot of the elements from Batman 5 turned into Batman Begins, that sort of
That would make a lot of sense, actually, because of how old he is.
And the setting is in the 80s.
Yeah.
So I can see
mean, it lines up
Yeah.
right? And also, it just makes sense of why they shoehorned the Batman shit in there, because honestly, I think it would be a better movie if the Waynes weren't in it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely Bruce Wayne. Like, I get the idea of Thomas Wayne as
a presence.
For the point of the movie, I understand why you'd have this mega rich millionaire, quote unquote philanthropist who's a kind of an asshole be the antagonist character. And I think it's fine being Thomas Wayne or any name, but yeah, throwing Bruce in there is fucking weird. And Alfred particularly.
I do have one hopefully unintended good consequence I hope comes from this movie, which is that I hope that the incels and the juggalos and the mall goths really take to it, really fucking love it, and make it their Halloween costumes.
Oh, you'll see
and make it their oversized T-shirts. And it's a big enough hit that we can let Heath Ledger Joker off the exiled island of characters ruined by fans.
Yeah.
You know, Borat will miss him. Austin Powers will miss him. Rick James will miss him. And I'll be glad to have him back in our world.
Sure.
One more spoiler I wanted to know about you guys thought is, a lot of people are wondering whether, you know when he gets in the car accident at the end, and then two people pull him out and they kind of like lift him up?
Yeah.
Do you think that's real or not? Because a lot of people say the only time he's having a good time is made up. Like when he's talking to the girl or he's on the Robert De Niro show in the beginning.
It's just one of those things with these kind of movies, with the unreliable narrator, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a shit what's real.
The other thing is people will say maybe he's imagined the whole thing, because in the very beginning when he's meeting with the social worker, they show a quick shot of him banging his head in the thing.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's in that same...
Right.
So, I mean, there's like a lot quick cuts.
And that is also, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I hate these kind of movies.
I mean, you know, if it was, you know, I'm going with an old dated reference here, but if it was lame that it was all a dream for Bobby Ewing to be dead, then it's lame that this would all be.
Yeah, I think that's a little stretch, but I think the ending, maybe he just gets into that car accident and that's when he gets locked up. Right. I think that's more realistic.
I'll be honest, I don't think any of it happened, and I'll tell you why. Because when he goes to fucking Arkham and he asks the whole, like, how does a person end up in here and all shit like that?
Yeah.
It all feels like a fantasy to me. That he never was actually there and all that.
Yeah, Brian Tyree Henry's in this movie.
For
no reason.
That dude deserves way more of a paycheck than I'm sure he got, and way more of a presence.
Yeah.
Which guy was he?
He's the
record
clerk
clerk at Arkham.
Oh, he was the only likable character in the entire
movie.
That's
probably true. There is also why this is obviously again some kind of directorial choice. Why are the only women that Arthur deals with besides his mother black women?
Yeah,
it's just odd.
The women as a whole had anyone really not a white dude had very little to do in this movie.
Yeah.
I honestly think that was probably like, this is probably going to seem like it's a love letter to the alt-right and the incels, so let's make sure there's people in here to deflect that. So I bet that wasn't even a director's choice. I bet that was a studio choice.
They forced him to do it?
Yeah,
that could be true. It's over. Thank God I don't have to watch it again.
Yeah, this conversation made me go worse than Transformers. So
I was on the right side. I can't believe you went better.
It's weird that it wasn't fun to even rag on this movie.
No.
Yeah. It's just a downer. Like the movie's a downer, and talking about it's a downer, and fucking thinking about it's a downer.
I think we've done movies that are downers that we still had fun ragging on. I can't think of one on.
So for example, let's take Venom. Venom is a terrible movie,
right?
But it is goofy and fun, and it's fun to shit on. This movie, we can all admit, is well made. So you can't like sit here and crap on it as a movie. You just have to think about these god awful sad things it's trying to say, and doesn't even say them well.
It's too overtly social commentary. Like, it's social commentary, but like it's not subliminal at all. You know, it's not a good movie.
No, you know exactly. It's like Joseph said. You know exactly what this movie's going to be.
It's just well produced, but it's not a good movie.
I know this is not going to be popular with the internet or whatever, because people, I mean, a lot of people that I like fucking love this movie, and I just don't see what they say.
I mean, that should tell you more about you.
I mean, I'm not talking about like friends or anything, like sources I have that like I like to read on the internet and stuff like that.
I mean, the main reason I was going to give it a real try and not try it is because Mark Hamill liked it. You know, so, and you know, I don't do a lot of social networking type stuff, social media stuff, but I still do have one comic message board I hold on to, and I expected all those dudes were just going to be tearing it apart, and I was literally the only guy in the community who didn't like it. So I don't know. Maybe we were just a bad influence on each other.
Yep.
Maybe it's just the four of us.
We were too biased on it.
Oh no.
I don't even. Maybe. I don't.
Let's. We have ragged on it for 6 months straight.
That is true.
Well, when that first full trailer came out, though, I was excited. I was like, "This looks like it's going to go for it."
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think
it did go.
I do think that's what we said. I think this looks like it's going to be something, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah.
I don't know. As a person who's like been in and out of counseling and stuff like that and had mental health problems, like I feel like I had a bad filter to look at this film through, and that just felt too personal to me, and maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. But for someone to be like, "Hey, life gets shitty for you for a little while," and full disclosure, I've had a tough couple of months. and I've made some major life choices to change those things. And so to see that and be like, oh, you've had a couple of shitty months, maybe you should just go murder some dudes in the subway. Like that's how it felt to me.
Because the thing is, it does fix his problem.
Yeah, he's happy about it.
The main thing he wants to do is be noticed. Mm-hmm. That was, by the way, the main thing I was insulted by when Sarah says that all his rants were like my rants. I don't want to be noticed. Like I'm the Hulk. I just want to be left alone. Yeah. But I mean, he wants to be noticed, and he got to be noticed. He won.
I missed my chance at that. I was going to say when you said I don't want to be noticed, and I would say, well, you're in the right place.
Yeah, I guess podcasting is not.
That was a half a beat off.
Just edit it. Edit it so you get your punchline. I support that.
Yeah, I love a good punchline.
Yeah. Either way, do we want to talk about it more? Or
no, I think we've done it.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to talk about anything else at this point.
Let's do a movie that we like sometime in the near future, so we're not just four white guys ragging on everything.
That's a good idea.
I feel like we've been fairly positive.
The thing is, usually I like stuff. You were just talking about how much you hate Venom.
You said it was better.
I fucking love Venom.
Hold on, you both said it was better than Transformers.
That's true.
I said slightly, but I mean that's kind of what I'm saying. Even it's better than Transformers is not interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
I put the asterisk of I agree that it's a better quality movie than Transformers, but I would rather watch Transformers. So it's really however you rate the scale. Which would if
it is your scale? So
if it's what you prefer to watch, then it's fucking Transformers all the way. Yeah. But if I'm being honest with myself, that is Todd Phillips' Joker better than Michael Bay's Transformers? I mean, it's a better. Joaquin acts better than Shia LaBeouf.
I agree with that.
That's probably true.
He's also better at being a crazy person. Yes. He's a more interesting crazy person.
They're both crazy, too.
They're both crazy, but...
Watch that Jimmy Kimmel interview.
When Shia
who sent
LaBeouf
that out? You did?
Yeah.
That thing is ridiculous. Jimmy Kimmel, Joaquin Phoenix goes on Jimmy Kimmel, and... You described it right. There's like high, and then there's like I've been high for 10 years straight.
Right.
I'm less and less confident that that's not just a.
You think it's a work, right?
I do think it's a work.
A job. Wouldn't that be the wrestling term?
No. Job is losing. Work is the right wrestling.
Mostly because one, it's definitely like well up the Joaquin Phoenix wheelhouse. Two, it's really odd for a
late night host.
Well, no, for a director to release that kind of shit because there is kind of like we shit on Christian Bale for yelling at that tech. But that is kind of like a big deal, is that what happens on set stays on set kind of thing.
So you think he knew
about it? That Jimmy Kimmel would not tell his fucking, interviewee, which, they're all fucking softball
unless he's got
bullshit.
an axe to grind.
It's just, I don't know.
I don't know, ABC's owned by Marvel. Maybe they told him to...
I don't know, it felt like Jimmy Kimmel was setting Joaquin up. It did. It had that air of like, I'm going to be an asshole right now.
But my whole thing is, how many times have they ever released unedited content, extra,
Never. No, you're right.
That's not a fucking thing. That's not a fucking... Because their publicists will fucking shut it down if they don't want it to be.
You're right, though. Disney does own ABC. And I don't know if they're looking to do the Joker any favor.
Now, the only reason why
Internet
I
conspiracy.
Agree with you is his reaction is almost stereotypical. Like, he goes up to, like, loosen his neck collar.
Loosen the tie was the one that got me, too. It was like, that doesn't... I don't know. Is that a thing that real people do?
Right.
Oh, my goodness. That is...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
So...
Either way,
it's worth a watch.
Crazy interview.
It's worth a watch, yeah. If you guys want to YouTube it.
So, and his whole, it was a ton of fun. He's just so weird.
I'm breakdancing. Well, you're making fun of it.
Oh, yeah, that shit correct.
But it was serious for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, Joker.
So what have we been watching, guys?
No, you go first.
I finished Downton Abbey.
Oh,
and
the marathon's over. And...
I like the movie. It's pretty good. It's a lot of fun. It's mostly fan service. I don't think it necessarily adds anything.
It's good to just be back with old friends. But they're new friends for you.
Yeah, I didn't have the 2 years or 3 years apart.
You'll miss them after a while.
I'm sure I will. The ending of the show is a good ending. So having watched that and then hours later watch the movie,
that's a good way to go.
The other way was a better ending.
King and Queen come to Downton, and the best part is they make the upstairs are all nervous because the royals are coming. And then the downstairs people get usurped by the royal servants. So, they come down and they're like, oh, you can't serve the king and queen. We're going to do it. They bring their own crew.
Yeah.
So, it's them going back and forth.
There's like a competition.
Yeah,
almost,
and like there's like traps set, and it's lighthearted fun.
It's fun. It is a good time at the movies.
That girl looks like Sybil. That Tom.
She does look.
I
like
thought it was
Sybil
like they recast Sybil.
It was. See, and that's Kate and I were watching the show, and we thought he would end up with the editor at Edith's magazine.
They just forgot about
and they totally pushed that to the wayside. But it works out well. Like,
yeah. No, I think
all
if they
three of them now are in charge of like a big house or whatever.
Yep.
And
I think the next one will be them getting married and like Maggie Smith.
they definitely set up
going
another
out.
movie. I
I think they're definitely going to do one more. You can get one more movie out of Maggie Smith, and like her dying, she'll have funny lines.
Yeah,
she'll be able to spin.
It felt like a goodbye from Maggie Smith.
Yeah.
Like that, she goes in like a 5-minute,
kind of transferring off to Michelle Dockery,
and it felt like almost like a goodbye from Maggie Smith.
I wish they wouldn't have brought the race car driver back. I don't know.
Matthew Good,
I don't know
fine.
if I like him.
He's Ozymandias. I can never not see Ozymandias,
and he's not in the movie at all, which is
I
think they were trying to minimize his impact.
Let's see. I watched that. Downton better than Transformers. The movie better than Transformers. I fucking watched Joker. Of course.
That Carson Miss Hughes.
I watched Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Oh yeah, right on.
I did too.
Yeah, so did I.
Better than Transformers. Up until the last 20 minutes, I was going Homecoming's the better movie. But God, that ending is great.
It's good.
It is
the Peter Tingle?
Strong, yeah. Again, I connected more in Homecoming, and I enjoyed it more up until that ending, though. But that payoff with Mysterio, that's a great fight.
Yep.
I think the Nick Fury thing, spoilers, is broadcast a mile away.
It is.
I think you said it when we were reviewing it. It doesn't even feel like the same character.
Right.
No, yeah. I noticed that watching it more on the Blu-ray, that I would have almost liked it more that he was like a hologram by Jake Gyllenhaal, because his whole purpose in that movie is getting Spider-Man on Jake Gyllenhaal's plan. I know the alien wasn't in on it, but some of the things he does, he chastises him for almost doing the drone strike on the kid,
right?
And then just kind of leaves it at that. I don't know. It just seems like he was setting up Mysterio now to have that talk. It almost should have been one of those holographic domes. That should have been. I would have liked that more.
I will say I listened to another podcast with 3 people who watched this movie, who none of which were really into this world, and every single one of them was surprised by the Mysterio twist, and I was like, "Oh, that's great!
That is great."
I'm so, because I wondered, because I can imagine it would play really straight, because he is very charismatic in that film.
He's super good in that role.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for this episode, but like I said, my favorite part of that whole movie is that hour in bar scene where he gives him the glasses, because at that point, all the marketing had only been for that hour. And the elementals, and I had no idea where that movie was going.
Yeah.
Right.
And that scene is so great in that just the way he bullshits him, and then you find out everything's gone, and he starts doing toast. That's a good scene.
That was really well done.
Yeah.
And because Rick and Morty season 4 is right around the corner, I will rewatch Rick and Morty season 1 today. And yeah, man, it's a fun show. I'm normally not one who feel like I have to rewatch things, but especially after season 3 and the trailer for season 4 made me feel like they really are trying to have this connective structure.
Right.
And they're referencing things, and I didn't want to forget it. And so I went back, and it paid off really well, because some things I just completely forgot about, and things I remembered in different orders. And yeah, I mean, again, I hate fans of Rick and Morty, but I like Rick and Morty myself, so.
Well, and Rick and Morty has that sort of Arrested Development thing where it doesn't pause for the laugh. Mm-hmm. So watching it one time, you're not going to get every joke because you were laughing through one of the jokes.
That's true. Better than Transformers. I don't think I did anything else. That's probably
that's a fair bit. I think you're off the... Cause
I'm unemployed, so I watch
that's
a
true.
lot of shit right now.
I did not do much this week. I just finally got the wife and I rewatched the first season of Assassination Classroom, and so now we have started the second season. Actually, we're midway through the second season.
Is this with the slug and the...
It is an octopus.
Get it right, Ian.
Kind of. But I had started out a little shaky, because definitely one of the fun parts of the first season is the premise is so ridiculous that they keep unveiling new things about this world and this monster, and by the second season you've kind of you've introduced all the new characters that you're going to introduce. You've introduced most of his powers and abilities, so it's there's a little less surprise to it, but it's gotten more and more endearing as the season's gone on, so I'm still super into it.
That it?
That's it.
That's the only thing you watched?
Yep.
I watched an episode of the Great British Baking Show.
Yeah.
It was Dairy Week, and
Interesting.
Stephanie won Star Baker 3rd week in a row. I like Alice more.
I hear the season's not... I mean, I don't know. You haven't seen any other seasons, but I hear the season's not as good.
I don't know. They make good stuff.
Yeah.
But I have nothing to compare it to. You're
That's
right.
fair.
There's a Christmas season. I think I might dive in on that. But yeah. And then I watched Spider-Man: Far From Home. We talked about that. That movie's the best Spider-Man. That's my wrap up.
I definitely think it's the most fun Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I think is an element.
I
of Spider-Man.
love European Vacation, and it
Yeah.
reminds me of that in a lot of
That's
ways.
the worst vacation movie.
Well, no, I like a vacation movie. Maybe I'm not thinking the right one, like the Euro Trip.
Yeah.
It's like Euro Trip. And then I watched Poldark. It's a Masterpiece show, and it's kind of like Downton Abbey, but it's basically about a soldier who's in the Revolutionary War, and they comes back, and he goes into Parliament, and it's pretty good. Kind of like a Downton Abbey-esque,
For people with withdrawal.
Yeah. If you're into British show, so I'm gonna keep watching that probably. Better than Transformers.
Cool.
I also watched Far From Home. I also loved it. I'm thinking maybe in the third one, Peter's identity coming out, brings down Stark Tech or Stark Enterprises, whatever they're calling them. Because Tony Stark's going to be so associated with giving him the thing and stuff like that. And maybe that's how you introduce Norman Osborn. I'm not saying Green Goblin is the villain, but I'm saying you could bring him in as the guy who buys out Stark Enterprises.
Be cool with that.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Last week I talked about reading Thanos Wins, and you know that thing where you read something you really really like, you watch something you really really like, and you're just bummed because whatever the next thing I watch is not going to be as good. I read a recent run of Hawkman that was exactly as good. It was so fucking awesome. The main highlight of it is had Brian Hitch on art for all 12 issues. He was the guy who did the Authority. He did the Ultimates. Just fucking legendary artist. And for him to do 12 issues in a row was fucking rad. Same writer as does Black Hammer, which I've pimped a lot on this. But yeah, it's just a really good adventure comic. Right now Marvel, for the most part, is kind of kicking DC's ass. But one thing that DC does have going for them is they're good at doing these 12-issue runs by a fixed
artist,
by a fixed team. Creative team, Mr. Miracle was like that, and I actually think I kind of liked this better than Mr. Miracle. So, I can't believe we ended on me because I'm trying something way out of left field here. Have we ever done a record review on this show? Has anybody done a record review?
No.
All right, here's our inaugural record review. The new Darkness record came out, and I'm sure a lot of people only know the Darkness as the I Believe in a Thing Called Love band, view them as a one-hit wonder, but they've continued being a band and made 6 more records. And all of their records are fucking awesome. Justin Hawkins is a really funny, really talented songwriter, really good musician, excellent guitar player. And they put out a new record called Easter is Canceled, which has a very funny but controversial album cover. And I highly recommend. I recommend all their stuff. It's just a lot of fun. I recommend going to see them. Justin Hawkins is a better stand-up comic for his in-between song dialogue than most working stand-up comics. So, way better than Transformers for all the Darkness records.
I'll check it up on Apple Music.
Right on.
It did remind me. I did watch one other thing. A few months ago, Netflix released this thing for Tom York, which was 45 minutes long. And
Anima.
it was his music. Yes. Well, they did the same thing for Sturgill Simpson, and it's an anime.
What?
Yes. And I fucking love Sturgill Simpson, but God, this shit is weird.
Well, his new record's sort of druggy, right? I haven't listened to it yet, but it has a Black Sabbath vibe to it.
So, yes. One of the things about Sturgill Simpson is he makes real classic country music sounding things, but has much darker lyrics. The music definitely matches that. It is, I think Black Sabbath's a good comp for it. It's very drivey. The guitar parts are very it's definitely still has a country influence, but has a very almost traditional classic rock feel to it, but very buzzy. And the anime is somebody watched a lot of 1991 2 a.m. in the morning anime. and it's all set to Sturgill Simpson music. And, I mean, I watched the whole thing, but I felt like I needed a shower at the end of it. There's a lot of, like, exploding heads and just weird shit going on. Better than Transformers.
All right.
I mean, just for the sheer fact that it's fucking different.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
Well, I mean, I just think that's ballsy as fucking hell to right after winning a Grammy for your country record to just say, okay, I'm gonna do like a hard rock record. That's pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, I love Sturgill Simpson. That dude's a monster.
I did also want to make a recommendation now that we're here, because I haven't even watched it yet, but it just seems so much like up your alley. The hot one this past week was Liam Gallagher.
Oh, right
Yes.
on. Oh, yeah, I need to...
Oh, sorry, wait. Which one's the thug?
Liam is more of a
Okay,
thug.
no, it's Noel Gallagher. The other Gallagher.
Right.
Yeah.
Both of them are assholes, but Liam is unreasonable.
As soon as I saw it, I thought of Hurt.
Yeah, me too. So I
So
haven't...
what was this it was on?
It's the hot... Wait, did you watch the Idris Elba one that I sent you?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's that same show, but with Noel Gallagher.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to watch that. That's
You should. So is that it for everybody?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Are we going to put in the description that this was the least fun episode?
It actually isn't.
It was the least fun episode. I would agree with that.
Well, I mean, for you guys, maybe. Jones and I did a lot of episodes together that were very not fun.
I kind of like those because it's just a lot of going, I think things are cool. I also think things are cool. I think things are lame. I think things are lame. I think they're pretty fun.
That's fair.
That's a fair point.
That's my line. Cool. Well, I don't know what we're doing next week. I don't know if anything comes out.
We could do Gemini Man.
We have
Oh, fuck that noise.
we have many backed up topic ideas. So
I think we should do something we sure is going to be more fun than Joker.
Yeah, something we
agree.
like, and it won't be Gemini Man.
I think
That's the problem. I don't want to do this again.
I think we can probably make that happen. But in the meantime, thank you guys for listening. Please rate and subscribe and tell all your friends about our podcast. If you want to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought about Joker and why we're wrong, or if you have any episode suggestions for next week, then shoot us an email at realphonies@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at realphonies and on Instagram at real_phonies. Thanks to Zach Evans for art and Brian Velasquez for our theme. We'll see you guys later.
Later.